This is The Good Government Show.
We don't have a whole lot of roads, so we've got a lot of pilots. We've got Taylor Drift out there. We've got Blizzard Wizard, Lady Gaga, Darth Greater, Plavosaurus Rex, the Big Leplowski. Primarily, we fund our government with property taxes. So we built 32 microhomes as part of a recovery residence.
Anchorage, Alaska is the biggest city in the state, and on this episode, I talked to the mayor about her city and what makes it different and the same as every American city. Wait till you hear about the Big Leplowski. That's today on The Good Government Show. As always, like us and share us on your favorite social media and leave a comment. Go to our website, goodgovernmentshow.com, for extras. Mayor Suzanne LaFrance joins the show. She's our first Alaska guest. So let's start with a few Anchorage fun facts, especially if you're like me and don't know much about the city. It's actually the third largest city by area in America, and it does have 4 seasons. In Anchorage, you can have up to 22 hours of light in the summer, although you can have just 5 hours in the winter. Anchorage residents often top the list of ice cream consumption per capita. That's a lot of ice cream eaten in the winter. The city's on the coast and it's surrounded by lakes and glaciers. Back to government. Anchorage, like any city, has a homeless problem, and the mayor and I talk about solutions. I should add, we talked earlier this year at the Conference of Mayors gathering in Washington. Since then, the mayor has made progress on the issue. In other Anchorage news, the city was finally able to close a deal to get more federal dollars to help improve the city's port terminal. Mayor LaFrance has also recently announced a Quality of Life Task Force in coordination with the governor's office. The task force is targeting local crime. So, coming up, a trip north to Alaska with the mayor of Anchorage, Suzanne LaFrance. HelloNation is our partner here at The Good Government Show. This is a new direction from CGI Digital. HelloNation is CGI's new online digital magazine that showcases the best of cities across the nation. We'd all prefer if good news traveled faster. At HelloNation, positive stories don't just get told, they get amplified. HelloNation helps businesses, leaders, and communities share positive stories that matter, building trust, credibility, and meaningful connection. Through professionally produced podcasts, digital features, and targeted distribution, HelloNation positions you as the answer regular folks are looking for, while expanding and scaling your digital footprint across the platforms that people trust. Good news deserves momentum. Your city or your business can help spread the word of good news across the nation. At HelloNation, they don't have advertisers, they have advertisers. Editorial content from trusted community leaders and cities that are spreading the good news. Let HelloNation lift you up and lead the conversation. That's HelloNation. Once you wrap up this episode of The Good Government Show, give a listen to our friends over at Good News for Lefties. This daily podcast highlights news stories that show there's more good news out there. Other people in government are really trying to do the right thing. That's Good News for Lefties. Listen where you're listening now. Welcome to The Good Government Show. I'm happy to have with me Suzanne LaFrance. She is the mayor of Anchorage, Alaska. Welcome to the show, and you are our first Alaska mayor or first Alaska politician, government leader to join us. Thank you.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
We are here in Washington. It is January. How's the weather here compared to the weather in Alaska right now?
You know, it's actually a little bit colder here.
Is it really?
It is.
All right, so that's why you're walking around in a bathing suit. No, just kidding. So I don't know where to begin. Anchorage, Alaska, is it a typical American city? Is it different than every American city? Is it completely different? Is it a completely unique environment? Or is it just another city like every other city in America, the same problems, same challenges?
Well, we're unique in our own ways. And, you know, being in Alaska, for one thing, sets us farther apart from the contiguous United States, which we fondly refer to as the lower 48.
Yes, but welcome to the lower 48.
Thank you. But I think every place has things that make them special and unique.
What makes you Anchorage special and unique?
Well, you know, we are isolated from the rest of the States,
yes,
and folks do a lot of travel. We love getting outdoors.
Okay.
We don't have a whole lot of roads, so we've got a lot of pilots up there, and people use their all-terrain vehicles and lots of hiking. It is a little bit dark in the winter, and summer hits, and it's really, there's a lot of daylight and people get amped up. But, you know, we have such a strong sense of community, and it feels like all of Alaska is really just one big town. And so I love that part of the culture.
Anchorage is the biggest city in Alaska, yes?
Yes.
And the population is?
About 280,000.
Okay. That's a substantial city.
Well, and we're a combined city borough.
Okay.
So we're really a municipality. And so we have several distinct communities within that area, which is about the size of Delaware.
Okay. All right. So it's not that small. Now, we talked before we turned the microphones on, and you told me that you have decided to name your snowplows.
Oh, yes.
Tell me about this, because this is fun. This is awesome. I want to hear all about this.
Yeah, this has been hugely popular. You know, when I came in, we had some work to do to improve our snow removal process. And so we had a snow solutions team, and they tackled some of the operations issues. We acquired new equipment, and we also procured some GPS devices and put them on the plows and had a naming contest.
How many snow plows do you have?
Oh gosh, sometimes it never seems like enough.
Yes.
And we're going to be getting some more newer equipment.
Okay.
But the names that people came up with were really great. And
let's hear them.
Yeah, kids and adults alike participated. So we've got Taylor Drift out there.
Taylor
We've got
Drift.
Blizzard Wizard, Lady Gaga, Darth Greater,
All right.
Plowsaurus Rex, the Big Leplowski, and that's just a few of them. I think there's a Snowy McSnowface or Plowy McPlowface
Okay.
out there as well.
How many snowplows have names? All of them?
Yes, and we'll be naming the new ones as they come in. And then there's also been some public requests to name all of our equipment, including the smaller pieces that remove snow from sidewalks.
And why not, right?
Why not? And people love how they can go online and track where Lady Gaga is.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to check this out. So you just go on, anybody can do it, right?
Yep, muni.org.
All right.
Click on snow plowing.
So if anybody's interested in the weather in Anchorage, Alaska, you can go in, you can follow your favorite snowplow.
That's right.
What was the one, the Big Lebowski thing?
Yes, the Big Leplowski.
The Big Lebowski. That's the one I'll follow. So this is a successful program.
Yes.
Right.
Naming the snowplows?
Right.
It is, yeah. But even more important, the snow removal efforts have really been improved over the last couple of years. We've added more operators. We have coordinated our teams in a way that is more efficient. We've added new equipment. We coordinate closely with the school district, and we're right near a military installation as well. And our coordination with the state of Alaska is key, because a lot of the roads in our community are owned by the state.
I'm going to expose my Anchorage ignorance. Does it snow all winter long? Is there snow on the ground from December through April?
For the most part, that first snow might be in September. May not stick around.
Worse than I thought. Okay.
But a lot of times, if
so these plows are active.
Yes.
For 6 or more months out of the year.
Oh, yes.
Is it difficult to maintain your fleet? And is that a problem for you as mayor to keep the fleet running and operational?
Well, we've definitely budgeted for a contingency. And, one of the issues that we had coming in was that with an aging fleet, certain parts would fail, and you could kind of predict it. And so one of the things that we've done is made sure that we have those parts on hand.
Okay.
And again, we've had to budget for it, but this is a huge priority for our community.
It must be, because it's Anchorage, Alaska, where there's always snow. Have you learned more about snowplows and snow maintenance equipment in the last year than you ever thought you'd know?
I've definitely learned more.
So I did a little bit of checking, and I wanted to ask you about a couple of things that seem to be happening in your city. The first is, and I just didn't think about this, you have a homeless problem. And that has to be a huge challenge, because I would imagine that it's really hard to be homeless overnight in Anchorage, Alaska in the winter.
It is.
So what do you do about this?
Well, coming in as an administration, my team and I were very clear about what we needed to do. And first and foremost, we need to make sure that everyone has a place to go, that we have fewer people sleeping outside. It was important to set up year-round shelter, because what we saw was that people, we'd stand up emergency shelter when it got cold. And then in the spring, it would close and folks were back out on the streets. And so now we have it year round. We've focused on connecting people to crisis care as well, and housing and treatment, and really develop some partnerships with nonprofits and other agencies that can help us provide options to people.
And I've heard this from other mayors, is that those partnerships are vital.
Absolutely key. And, like so many other communities, and this is a nationwide issue, we are certainly not alone in addressing homelessness.
Right.
And we saw during COVID that our numbers of unsheltered homeless individuals went up like 300% and never came down. And so we've been very focused on, we came in and we abated some long-standing encampments that had like 150 people, and that were places that were unsafe for the people living there and the people living nearby. And
they had camps set up for outside that we're living in?
Oh, yes. Very big camps with
in
structures.
Alaska at night in the winter.
Yes. I mean, some people had some pretty significant structures.
Okay.
You know, when I toured one, there was a gentleman who was digging out a basement for one. He had a vision. That was right before we abated, but it was very entrenched as far as an encampment went, this particular one.
Did you get pushback when you tried to shut these camps down, or was everyone actually excited that they were going to move on?
Well, the nearby community had been dealing with some hardships associated with the camp. I mean, there was drug trafficking, violence,
right.
Suspected human trafficking as well. And so they were very happy to see us take action on that camp. And other folks in our community just wanted to make sure that individuals, in behavioral health crisis or substance misuse crisis or whatever their circumstances, had access to help and support and options.
So these new shelters that you've started, do you have all those wraparound services available for everyone?
We partner with organizations to make sure that people get into the system and can get the supports they need. We operate one shelter, and there are other, partners in the community that also operate shelters, and, with varying levels of entry and, high and low barrier. So we're working together to ensure that we have the options that the people who are living outside, really need and want.
And are there people, and what do you do with these people who say, no, I'm not going to the shelter, I'm staying here?
Yeah, that's definitely an issue. And we've also focused on outreach. And like before we abated the very large camp, we did months of outreach, and in some cases trying to really, build trust with folks who, are experiencing trauma, to try to get them to come in. We did see that when we had a cold snap and it was, single digits below zero for like a month or so in December.
Okay, that's a cold snap.
It was prolonged. Then we did see some folks who'd been living outside for years come in. But we've also done some things to promote the number of engagements with our frontline folks, and whether that's our outreach workers, our police officers. We've tightened up the rules around camping and in public places and on trails and in parks, and mostly folks comply. But we see that there are others who, after a certain number of touch points, will say, "Yeah, what do you got for me? I want treatment or shelter or housing." And that's a big part of how we're making progress to address those folks who initially say, "No, I don't want any of those things."
Well, that is good government. I read a little something about you. There's a citywide program to make city spaces safer. Mm-hmm. So I guess this is all tied in together. Can you explain what this program is? Because it sounds like the idea is a safer Anchorage.
Yes, our public spaces need to be safe and accessible for everyone. And one thing that makes Anchorage, I think, unique is we have a tremendous trail system in our community, and we have some really wonderful parks. And some of those are, as we say, in the bowl. Some are up high in the Chugach.
Okay.
But those have been places where people camp, and where other people oftentimes don't feel safe because there are folks who are engaging in dangerous or inappropriate behavior. And in addition to making changes around camping in public spaces, we also have made proposed some changes. It's before our assembly for action, and hopefully they'll approve it on Tuesday, that address inappropriate and unsafe behaviors, behaviors that are never appropriate in public.
Are you making Anchorage safer?
Yes, we are.
All right. Well, you're the mayor. Good. Now, I also read one other thing I wanted to ask you about is you are trying to sell, I think it's a $12 million tax for the city schools. Mm-hmm. How do you sell a tax?
Yeah, well,
she said after a long, deep breath.
Long, deep breath.
Yeah.
And this is an issue, I know, not just in our community, but Alaska is unique. We don't have an income tax. We don't have a state sales tax. Some communities have sales taxes. We do not have one in Anchorage. I mean, we have an alcohol tax and a cannabis tax and a motor fuel tax that's not a retail tax. Primarily, we fund our government with property taxes.
Okay.
The state of Alaska is responsible for providing a quality education to students. However, local communities have a responsibility to pay or are required to pay a local contribution, okay, it's called.
Right.
And through some changes in the amount that the state provides, we realize that in addition to, we always pay our required contribution, and then there is an optional one that you can tax yourselves for. And normally we do that. We don't do it separately, but because of changes in the formula, we realized that, we can actually give more this year to the school. And so we thought that we would put that before the voters for them to consider. I mean,
and how are the voters reacting so far? Are they on board with this, with the tax?
People do support our public schools and recognize how important they are.
Is it a hard sell?
Well, we'll find out in April. The conversations are just starting.
Okay.
And, some people have concerns because we do not have a diversified, revenue base. And so bonds and general government, this is all funded through our property taxes. But for the most part, there's a lot of support. We really need to have some stable funding from our state government, the state of Alaska, and it limits the amount local communities can contribute towards schools. And that's done so that there's equity, among the school districts.
It sounds like there's not a lot, but a fair amount that's sort of out of your hands in your city as mayor.
Yes, when it comes to education, definitely.
Yeah.
This was something we saw that we could do. Again, the numbers had changed and it opened up this space for, we can ask our community, do you want to tax ourselves for this additional $12 million that will keep more teachers in the school district and lower classroom sizes?
Well, I think people are in favor of that.
Yeah.
So we're here at the Conference of Mayors in Washington, where it's colder than it is in Anchorage right now in January. You were just in a program called Bloomberg City's Ideas Exchange. What ideas were exchanged? What were you talking about? Because you were one of the panelists.
My team got to participate in this program through Bloomberg to build 32 microhomes. And this was based on a successful project in Atlanta. And so we had a couple team members who went to Atlanta and, learned more about how did they make this work. We started off looking at shipping containers.
Yep.
As part of, potential shelter, transitional housing for folks experiencing homelessness, and found that actually it made more sense for us to construct units because we would have had to retrofit the shipping containers due to the cold in Anchorage.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So what did you build?
So we built 32 microhomes as part of a recovery residence. And we did this on...
Fully insulated, I'm guessing? Fully
insulated. Each one has its own individual electric heater. They are not plumbed. So there is a shared bathroom, shower space, and also a shared, another separate building, a communal space. And the intent is that it's for folks coming off the streets who want to engage in treatment. And so they will have their own space where with their own door that can be closed and locked,
right,
while they go through treatment program.
I've seen some of those container houses. It's pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah. And these are, the 32 units are on about 1/4 of an acre, and they're pretty close together.
Okay.
There was a church that did a pilot project in our backyard, they called it. And so we've been working with them and, lessons learned and between them, and then the support through Bloomberg. Bloomberg is amazing. They do some incredible things and provide communities with so many resources.
Were there any other discussions other than the microhomes? Just curious if there are any great ideas that were exchanged.
That's something that, there are always great ideas from other communities.
Well, that's what I've heard from mayors is the best idea is probably another mayor's already done. And you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just call your mayor friend and say, how did you make homes?
Oh, absolutely. And this is a pilot project for us. And so we were aware of some of the challenges going in around sustained funding. We have a third-party operator who will be on site, to provide the behavioral health support, and know that, that's a challenge other communities have faced. It always is, the ongoing operational funding. But, this, again, is a pilot project, and we got to learn from others, and It's iterative, and we'll share what we've learned with others too.
So call the mayor of Anchorage and you'll tell them how you did it. Now,
sure, why not?
Before I get into our questionnaire, I have to say, giant anchor earrings and a giant anchor pin on your jacket. Is this your standard wear?
On a lot of days, sure.
Yes. All right. So Anchorage, the anchor of Anchorage. Right?
The anchor of Anchorage. That's right.
All right. We're going to come back. We're going to ask you a lot of questions. The Good Government Show is sponsored by Our. That's OUR for Our Community. Get involved. We hear that all the time from government leaders. Our co-brands with your government's name and logo. Your staff and the people you serve are connected and part of your community. From any device, your members provide reliable data and meaningful feedback. Ask a question like, do we want more parkland or better homeless services? More engaged conversations come through the Our app. Visit Ourco, that's OURCO.com, and book a demonstration. After you get done with this episode, hear more good government stories with our friends at How to Really Run a City. Former mayors Kasim Reed of Atlanta and Michael Nutter of Philadelphia, and their co-host, journalist and author Larry Platt, talk with guests and other mayors about how to really get stuff done in cities around the nation. Check them out where you're listening now or through their nonprofit news site, thephiladelphiacitizen.org/podcasts.
Across America, there is a growing demand for leadership that delivers results over rhetoric. The Good Government Institute brings together proven ideas, principled leaders, and real-world solutions to strengthen how we govern, not by reinventing the system, but by advancing what already works. On our flagship podcast, The Good Government Show, we highlight the leaders behind that progress, demonstrating how effective governance begins with listening, respect, and a commitment to serve. Visit goodgovinstitute.org to learn more.
So we have a Good Government Show questionnaire, and I want to just get into this, and this will get into your personal philosophy about government. What is good government? Define it.
Good government is providing the services that people need.
That's it? That's all?
Well, it has to do with transparency and good communication and ensuring that, what we do provides public value.
What drew you to public service? What made you get into this?
I ran for our Anchorage Assembly and ended up being in that seat for 6 years. And during that time, I grew to absolutely love local government. It's where the rubber meets the road.
I'm getting the high sign that you have to go. I want to ask you just 2 more questions. I've never been to Anchorage. I'm coming to your city. Where are we going? What's the dish of Anchorage?
Oh, boy, there's so much to do. So when you come in, you got to come by City Hall.
Yes.
And say hello.
Okay.
But I think our trail system is fabulous. And we have a wonderful museum, and the Alaska Native Heritage Center offers some really great opportunities as well.
Is there a cuisine of Anchorage?
Oh, we've got a whole bunch of different kinds of food.
This is the Good Government Show. We always talk about good government to end it up. I'm going to let you go, but you got to answer one last question. Tell me about a good government project you're really excited about in Anchorage.
Well, I'm really excited about the snow plowing work that we've done. And, we've had great feedback from the public. And in addition to the names and the GPSs, we're moving a lot of snow.
And I guess you have to in Anchorage. Mayor Suzanne LaFrance, the mayor of Anchorage, first guest from Alaska. Thank you so much for coming, and good luck in the snow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. The Good Government Institute has a new partner, the Charles F. Kettering Foundation. I really like their podcast, The Context, and I bet you will too. They have a new series called Democracy Under Construction. The show is hosted by historian Alex Lovett, and he looks back at the first 250 years of U.S. history. Alex digs into the moments that have pushed us towards an inclusive democracy. You can find it wherever you're listening right now, or visit kettering.org and give him a follow. Want to hear more about good government? Check out another show I host, Leading Iowa, Good Government in Iowa Cities. I host the show with Brad Kavanaugh, Mayor of Dubuque, Iowa, and the immediate past president of the Iowa League of Cities. Together, we talk to leaders in Iowa cities. We talk about what works and what good government looks like in Iowa. Join us right here where you're listening now. That's Leading Iowa, Good Government in Iowa Cities. What if Lincoln hadn't been shot? What if World War I hadn't happened? Jim Ludlow, Good Government Show executive producer, explores both those ideas in two books. In Lincoln, Beyond the Bullet, he imagines that Lincoln lives. In Royal Cousins, he imagines what would have happened if three kings, all cousins, hadn't blundered their way into war. What if? Think about it. Go to goodgovinstitute.org/books and order a copy. Some good news and some good government. The microhomes open in April and they're already full. Anchorage is a city the size of Delaware. Well, that's a fun fact I didn't know. Here's something the mayor said that really struck me. It feels like all of Alaska is just one big town. And I love the snowplow names, especially the Big Leplowski. I guess in Alaska, snowplows working 6 months a year. You got to inject a little fun into that. And Mayor Suzanne LaFrance is certainly having fun with the snowplows. That's good government. Cities interested and invested in city maintenance. And on the city's website, you can actually track your favorite snowplow. Well, that's our show. Thanks for listening. Please like us and share us with your friends and review us right here where you're listening. And check out our website, goodgovernmentshow.com, for extras. Help us keep telling stories of good government in action everywhere. Join us again for another episode right here. I'm Dave Martin, and this is The Good Government Show. The Good Government Show is produced by the Good Government Institute, a nonprofit organization promoting civic engagement and civic education. All donations to the show help promote trust in government. You can donate at goodgovinstitute.org. That's goodgovinstitute.org. Executive producers are Jim Ludlow, Dave Martin, that's me, and David Snyder. Jason Stershik is our editor and producer. Join us again to hear good stories about our government right here on The Good Government Show.
This podcast is part of the Democracy Group,